Hi, my name is Jeff. I'm a performance nutritionist and part of the team of Prevess. I have supported athletes the last decade to achieve highest goals to attend competitions like the Olympic Games and other international championships. Today, everything is around the following question. Does the gut microbiota have an impact on how well you exercise? Does the gut microbiome affect how well you exercise? Most of the microorganisms that live on and in us are found in our digestive tract, with concentrations generally increasing as you move toward the center of the body. Research on these gut-specific microbes is still emerging, but so far it is clear that this community is essential to our health. A new and interesting area of research aims to investigate the possible link between these gut microbes and athletic traits. What is the gut microbiota? The gut microbiota is defined as a diverse ecosystem consisting, mainly, of bacteria, archaea, viruses, protists, and even fungal communities, all living in the gastrointestinal tract. See more in Source 1. In this blog, we'll explore how important factors like exercise and diet influence this community. And, for our own selfish desires, how can this community benefit us? A sort of two-way street, if you will. Those who exercise regularly and eat purposefully seem to have a community that is different from those who are more sedentary. See more in Sources 2 and 3. The structure of the gut microbiota of athletes is likely in part the result of adaptations to these long-term lifestyle factors. See more in Source 4. Indeed, athletes who adhere to a fairly Spartan lifestyle for years and even decades are quite often healthier. What makes the gut microbiota of an athlete different? An important feature to highlight in the context of athletes is the role of the gut in the production of short-chain fatty acids, also abbreviated SCFA. These molecules can be used by the body as fuel substrates and even serve as signaling intermediaries involved in the regulation of metabolism and inflammation. See more in Source 5. SCFAs are produced by the fermentation of indigestible food components such as fiber and other components, including those from our own bodies. See more in Source 6. Compared to sedentary individuals, athletes exhibit increased fecal metabolites and better overall health, unless overtrained or energy deficient. See more in Source 7. It is speculative that athletes also have resilience of the gut microbiota. This refers to the ability of the gut microbiota to return to baseline after stressful situations such as extreme dietary or training stress. This is considered an important characteristic of a health-promoting gut community. See more in Source 8. Compared to sedentary individuals, athletes have increased metabolites in their stool and are healthier overall, unless they are overtrained or energy deficient. What are the effects of sport on the gut microbiota? In recent years, several groups of researchers have succeeded in detecting the effects of extreme exercise on the gut microbiota. For example, when Scheiman and colleagues examined stool samples from participants in the Boston Marathon, they found that the abundance of a microbe called Veillonella increased after the race. See more in Source 9. Through a series of experiments in which a specific strain of Veillonella was isolated from participants' stool, mice inoculated with this bacterium dramatically increased their athletic performance. It appeared that this microbe converted lactate, a metabolic product of muscle metabolism, into SCFAs, a fuel source. Scheiman and his colleagues theorized that higher levels of lactate in the gut of athletes could promote the growth of these bacteria, which in turn could help improve performance. But exactly how these bacteria are related to performance enhancement is currently unknown. SCFA-producing microbes have also been detected in other studies of endurance sports events, including the grueling Western States Endurance Run, a 163 km mountain race. Here, changes in the gut microbiota of a world-class ultramarathon runner were reported before and after the race, with a massive increase in Veillonella detected 2 hours after the race. See more in Source 10. In another extreme case, the gut microbiota of 4 well-trained male athletes was studied before, during and after a continuous 33-day, 5,000 kilometers transoceanic rowing race. During this race, each athlete rowed an average of nearly 400 hours. See more in Source 11. Increased abundance of SCFA, for example, butyrate, producing species associated with improved metabolic health was found. Individual reactions. Recently, the gut bacteria of 2 out-of-shape men were studied for 6 months while one trained for a marathon and the other for an Olympic distance triathlon. See more in Source 12. Health-related parameters such as community diversity and microbial species counts, both factors that have been shown to influence SCFA production, increased. Importantly, these 2 individuals showed differential changes in specific microbes associated with health. This shows how important the human gut microbiota is. It is tailored for each individual. As with exercise adaptations, the gut microbiota response to exercise is likely to be very different and, as mentioned earlier, unique to each person. In addition, it is very difficult to separate things like diet, especially since many athletes follow a strict routine. See more in Source 13. Last but not least, not all stress caused by sports is good for the gut. For example, athletes who train hard for long periods of time without eating enough are at risk of problems with the integrity and function of their gut and gastrointestinal distress. See more in Source 14. When looking at the gut microbiota of athletes and trying to draw conclusions about it as a whole, these aspects are cause for concern. Like training adaptations, the gut microbiota response to exercise is likely to be highly variable and individual. So do the microbes in an athlete's gut help them perform better? From what we know so far, athletes seem to have more functional pathways in their microbiota that could support sports metabolism and health. See more in Source 7. These include, among others, the microbes that produce SCFA. In some ways, the microbiota in an athlete's gut could be viewed as a pathway for energy production. In fact, the digestive tract has an exchange area of 80 square meters for metabolites produced in the gut. See more in Source 15. In endurance sports, which can place heavy demands on the body's metabolism, SCFA can be important for performance because they are readily absorbed into the bloodstream. See more in Source 16. Muscles and other tissues can then utilize these SCFAs immediately. See more in Source 17. SCFAs can help the body use energy in skeletal muscle during exercise. See more in Source 18. SCFAs also help increase blood flow, make the body more sensitive to insulin, maintain skeletal muscle mass, and have an oxidative phenotype. See more in Source 17. Key points are: compared to less active people, athletes appear to have more fecal metabolites such as SCFAs in their gut microbiota. This may impact their physical performance and overall health. See more in Source 7. Most likely, these differences are due to the effects of people's training and/or diet. They may also be able to get more energy from the foods they eat and the waste products of exercise. Overall, we don't yet fully understand how exercise can lead to a rich bacterial community, more functional metabolic pathways, and exercise-promoting metabolites, but it's likely that it has to do with much more than just exercise and diet. After all, most studies are correlational studies, and as we all know, correlation does not equal causation. But people are increasingly interested in how longitudinal studies change the gut and whether the microbiota can be trained. We will talk about this in Part 2, to be published soon. Thank you for listening, watching, or reading to this episode of the Prevess Performance Vlog. For more topics to become a better athlete, subscribe to our Performance Vlog newsletter at prevess.com/performance. See you next time and stay focused.